When Kim and Ron got back to the bunker, they gave the tourmaline to Wade, who took it to examine it and research it. Kim then saw her father harvesting fruits and vegetables from the greenhouse, so she stood beside her dad, not wearing the armor she had on earlier. Hey Kimmy, are you doing okay? James asked. Yeah, I am. I just miss Mom. I wish she was there and I was there in time to save her, Kim answered sadly. I know. I wish she was alive. You did all you could. No one expected her to die in the hands of demons, James said, hugging Kim. I hope my mom's watching over us, Kim replied. She is, Kim. She's our guardian angel now. If you ever feel alone, just remember that your mom will be here to guide you in spirit, along with me and your brothers, Jim and Tim, James explained to Kim. Kim decided to help her father in the greenhouse since she was tending to the plants. She noticed a strange substance coming out of the walls of the greenhouse, so she took a sample of it, and it looked like blood, but it was more of a brighter red than regular blood color. Strange. I wonder where this substance came from, Kim questioned herself. She then took her communicator out and called up Wade, who picked up. Hey Wade, can you scan this bright red substance? Kim asked. It looks like blood, but brighter than blood, and it feels like blood, but I don't think it's blood. Sure, Kim, I'll scan it, Wade said, scanning the substance that Kim had found in the greenhouse. It looks like blood from a demon, but it reads that it's from an unknown demon. So there is a demon outside? Kim asked. She waited for a few minutes as Wade scanned around the perimeter of the bunker. No demons around us. Maybe it's an electrical glitch or a demon wandering that happened, Wade explained. Have the turrets active in case if there's a demon wandering? Kim instructed. Wade agreed with what Kim said and activated the turrets. When Kim and Ron found Ron watching TV in the room, she sat beside Ron as Rufus was eating some snacks. Any updates? Ron asked her. Nothing much. We may have some demons wandering around where the bunker is, Kim replied. Anything else? Ron questioned. Not that I know of at the moment, but Wade will inform us when he hears about something, Kim replied, sitting down beside Ron. The two of them were cuddling as they were watching TV. The news reports showed progress on what has been happening. The news reports also showed that an unknown space marine has entered Middleton, killing the demons that came across his path. Kim and Ron were confused on who he was, but the name hasn't been revealed on the news. All they know is that a space marine is killing demons, possibly trying to save the world. Once the news had ended, Kim turned off the TV and looked at Ron. Who is that space marine? Ron asked. I have no idea. Maybe Wade can look into it, Kim replied. She then got her communicator out and rang up Wade. Hey Wade, did you see the news about a space marine in Middleton fighting demons? Yeah, I did. I am running tests to see who it is. I've never seen him before, like in real life. He must be Doom Guy from the Doom games, Wade said, as he started running tests about the space marine they saw. He's from our city, it reads, but I don't know much about his backstory or anything like that. If we run into him, he might be able to help us out, Ron stated. He must have been sent to Earth to save it, Kim added. Most likely to be the case, if I had to guess. Anyways, I have gotten notified that Duff Killigan's castle has something that can help us destroy the demons. From what I can gather, it is a book of some sorts that is for Satanists, Wade stated. How good is that going to do? Kim questioned. Not sure, but we need that book. It may help us, Wade replied. Alright, we're on it. So come on, Ron, let's go. Mission time, Kim instructed. Did Ron, as she headed for the armory to put her battle armor on. Ron followed Kim to get his battle armor on as well. They put on their armor and grabbed their weapons. Once they were fully equipped, they headed for the aircraft that is inside the bunker, where they would fly to their location of their mission. When the aircraft arrived close to Duff Killigan's castle, Kim and Ron parked the aircraft on the water and climbed out. They approached the island and looked around, and they could see some corpses of demons around. Where is Duff Killigan? Ron asked. No idea. He may be inside the castle, Kim replied as she and Ron headed for the castle when Duff Killigan blocked their path in a defensive mode. What are you both doing here, Laddie and Lassie? Duff Killigan questioned. There's demons surrounding the place. It's not safe. Cut the crap, Duff Killigan. We are here because we need a Satanist book from you. Kim scoffed, not in the mood for Duff Killigan's bullshit. You're here for the book? Duff Killigan questioned. Why the fuck would you want to do with a Satanist book? We needed to stop the demons, so are we going to do this the easy way or the hard way? Ron questioned. Will you leave if I give it to you? Duff Killigan replied with a question. Yeah, why? I think we're going to kick your ass afterwards, Kim said with a smirk. Before Duff Killigan could say anything, a fireball was shot at him from the right. Duff Killigan was caught on fire due to him being hit from the fireball. He began running around screaming in pain. Kim and Ron were both confused as they watched Duff Killigan burn to death, but then they looked to their right to see a demon who was responsible for his death. What is this thing? Ron questioned. The demon identifier says it's called a mancubus, or mancubi is plural, Kim replied as she and Ron dodged the fireballs. There's two of them, Ron stated loudly. Take down one as I take down the other. Kim instructed as she and Ron began to use their plasma rifles to shoot down the mancubi that began shooting fireballs at them. Ron managed to take one down with ease, while Kim was trying to dodge the fireballs, but since the armor she was wearing was really heavy on her, she was suddenly struck by the mancubi's fireball. She fell to the ground as Ron rushed towards Kim. As Ron began to shooting the mancubus attacking Kim, its attention was drawn by Ron, who began to shoot fireballs at him. Ron dodged the fireballs and kept shooting at the mancubus. After several more shots that the mancubus had taken, he eventually fell to the ground dead. Ron got close to Kim, who was stunned but still conscious. Kim, are you okay? Ron asked worriedly. Yeah, I'm fine, Kim replied with a groan. Just stunned from being struck by the fireball. It's more powerful than the Hell Knight's fireball. That armor protected you from the fireball. It could have been worse, Ron said. Help me get this armor off. I think it's badly damaged from the mancubus's fireball, Kim stated, as Ron helped Kim take off the armor. Kim was lucky enough to wear her battle suit under all that armor. If you didn't have that armor on, you would have ended up burning to death like Duff Killigan did, Ron replied as he helped Kim up. You feel alright to walk? Yeah, I'm just stunned from the fireball, Ron, but I'll be okay, don't worry, Kim said as she and Ron headed for the corpse of Duff Killigan. He was already dead as the flames kept burning his body. So, the book is inside the castle. I hope he's telling the truth, Ron replied. Then he and Kim headed inside the castle. Once inside the castle, Kim and Ron began to check every room for the book. At first they had no luck on finding the book, as Duff Killigan's castle was really huge. However, they searched for the bookcases of the castle to see what the book they were really after. After about 45 minutes of looking, Kim and Ron could not find the book. Where can that book be? We've checked nearly everywhere and still no book. I bet Duff Killigan was lying about it, Ron stated. Kim then found the Satanist book that they were after. I found the book, Ron. Duff Killigan wasn't lying, Kim replied, flipping through the pages of the Satanist book that she found. Sure enough, it was the book that they were after. It's one we're after. Now let's get out of here. Just as Kim said that, she and Ron heard loud banging coming from the front door of the castle. It happened to be a demon or a few demons that were trying to break down the door, smelling that Kim and Ron were inside the castle. We better get out through the back door. The front door is going to give in and the demons will be after us, Ron said, as he and Kim took the book and headed off to the back door of the castle. Once they found the back door of the castle, they exited and headed around the other way to the front of the castle to the aircraft. While running, they had killed a few former humans with ease, as they were easy to take down. Then they got on the aircraft and took off. While in the air, Ron was reading through the Satanist book while Kim was driving. The book was reading showed pictures of demons, along with instructions on how to end the demon apocalypse, to which it was very confusing to Ron. This book is so hard to understand, it's so confusing, Ron said. I bet it is. I had a feeling it would be confusing, Kim replied. Then she heard a communicator beeping, and it was Wade. Wade, we have the book, Kim said to Wade as Ron showed him the book. What happened to your armor? Wade replied with a question. I was struck by a fireball from the Mancubus we fought. It damaged my armor pretty badly, Kim replied. At least you have your battlesuit on. It could have been a lot worse if you weren't wearing the armor, Wade said. Now that you have the book, I need you to go to the Dementor's lab to see if he's there. If he isn't there, you need to do some research on the demons and their origin, as well as some info on how they were created. We'll do that. Heading your way that way now, Kim replied. Awesome. Be careful, you two. Especially you, Kim, without the armor on, Wade said as Kim hung up. Once they flew to Professor Dementor's lab, they landed the aircraft and looked around to see a few demons wandering. When Kim and Ron climbed out of the aircraft, they raced to the front of Professor Dementor's lab. They killed a few demons along the way to the front door, and more demons soon took notice of Kim and Ron. Once they were at the door to Dementor's lab, Kim managed to hack into the computer systems of Dementor's lab. As soon as the door opened, Kim and Ron headed inside the lab, where they shut the front door and used some codes to lock the demons out. They began to look through each of the Dementor's lab of the room, looking for any clues, if Dementor is around or he left. Dementor has gotta be here somewhere, unless he has left already, Ron said, as Kim started hacking into one of the computers of the lab, finding lots more info on the demons' origins and how they are made. Whoa, these demons are from hell. So Dementor used some sort of satanic ritual to bring them to Earth. It all makes sense now, Kim said, as she and Ron looked to hear banging up from another door. Kim got her plasma rifle ready and aimed it at the door. Ron did the same thing as they were prepared for the door to give out, for the demon to break through. Within a matter of minutes, a demon managed to break down the door, and it was two revenants. Ron and Kim began to dodge the rockets that the revenants began to shoot out from their shoulders at them while they're firing weapons against the revenants. As they were fighting the revenants, Ron was then being punched by the revenant. Kim notices this after killing one of the revenants, that she started to help Ron kill the other revenant by punching him. As Kim continued to fire her plasma rifle, the revenant was eventually dead. They continued to look through Professor Dementor's lab, hacking into computers to gather more info on the demons. Kim had a USB drive to transfer the files into it, so that way Wade can have the info on the demons he needed. Once Kim and Ron retrieved more info on the demons from Dementor's computers, they headed out of the lab the way they came. When they raced towards the aircrafts, only to be surrounded by a horde of demons. They were most likely imps, former humans with chain guns, pistols, and shotguns, pinkies, and hell knights. We're surrounded, Ron said to Kim, feeling uneasy about the situation. I know, Ron. I'm thinking of a way out of this situation, Kim replied, trying to think of a way to get out of being surrounded. Before Kim and Ron could prepare themselves for their next move, shots of rockets were being fired at the demons. Some of them fell to the ground dead, and demons turned their attention from Kim and Ron to see whoever fired the rockets at them. Kim and Ron were at first confused, but as soon as the demon count was dropping, they spotted a person wearing Doom Guy-like armor. Who's that? Ron asked. He must be the guy we've heard on the news, Kim replied. Whoever he is, he's distracting the demons. We must leave him distracted, Ron advised as he and Kim got inside the aircraft. Once inside, they took off from Dementor's lab and headed back for the bunker. On their way back to the bunker, Kim was driving. Ron was sitting on the passenger side of the aircraft. I wonder if that was Doom Guy from the Doom games, Ron wondered out loud. He must be him. He's got the same armor you have on, Kim replied. Yeah, I wonder how he got to the lab without a vehicle, Ron questioned. He teleported is my guess, Kim answered as a fury. Anyways, we got the info we needed, so let's get back to Wade ASAP. Alright, but I wonder if that was Doom Guy was the same guy on the news we're talking about, Ron said to himself. Back at the bunker, Dr. Draken was making the super weapon that put it off because of the Gauss cannon. He was making the super weapon as Shigo walked in, catching his attention. Hey, Dr. D, how's the weapon? Shigo asked. Great, Shigo. Just a little more tinkering and there. It is finished, Dr. Draken replied, finishing up the powerful weapon that he'd been working on for a while. Nice weapon. What is it supposed to be called? Shigo questioned, examining the weapon. It's the BFG 9000. It can also hold a power charge. That shot held long enough, it would kill multiple demons within the blast range of the projectile, Dr. Draken explained. So when Kim gets back, we should get tested out on demons, Shigo suggested. That's what I thought we'd do. When she's free, of course. I know she's still on a mission, Dr. Draken replied. Kim's back and so is Ron, James Possible said, peeking into the armory to find Draken and Shigo. They are? I hope they're okay, Shigo said. They're okay. Kim's armor was destroyed when she was struck by a demon's fireball, James replied, making Shigo's spine chill. What was it, a fireball from a Hell Knight? Shigo asked. According to Kim and Ron, the fireball that struck Kim was from a mancubus, James explained. That armor saved Kim. She could have been killed if she wasn't wearing any armor, Shigo said, as Kim and Ron showed up at the armory to put the armor and weapons away. I've talked to Wade. He'll be making me new armor, so in the meantime, I'll be wearing my battle suit on missions from now on, Kim stated. You gotta be careful out there. I heard you were hit by a mancubus's fireball. Oh, Shigo replied to Kim. Duff Killigan was there. He told us of where the satanic book was, but unfortunately he was killed by the mancubi's fireball. If he was alive, we would have had no way of bringing him here, Ron stated. We found lots of info on the demons in Dementor's lab, got them all in this USB drive, Kim said. We gave Wade that book, so he'll have the info on the demons we need. Just hope we could figure out a way to end the apocalypse, James replied. I'm sure he will, Dad, Kim said as she hugged her father. Later on that evening, Kim was getting ready to take a shower when Ron walked in. Kim was already about to get her clothes off when he walked in, and it did startle her a bit. Ron, I didn't hear you come in, Kim said. I was wondering where you were. Mind if I join you in the shower? Ron asked. Of course, Ron. Maybe we can make it a lot more fun in there, if you know what I mean, Kim said, smirking as she wanted to do something with her and Ron in the shower alone. Oh, I know what you mean, Kim, Ron replied, as he and Kim started to get their clothes off, and then they had their shower, with a lot of spicy fun that was going on in there.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.